Hello, it's TruthSOSeeker here. I'm back with another game of Halo Wars for you guys. Another 1v1, but it's going to be a custom this time. I'm with my friend Goddess Elias. He's a good player. I think he's alright at this game at least. He's definitely not in the other room right now as I'm recording this. But anyway, I know a lot of people have been asking for some cutter gameplay, so this is going to be for you guys out there. And I feel like at least practicing the other side of the matchup is good practice. Especially because it'll help with just knowing what to actually do against other people. So, in general, as UNSC, I feel like they have to be very aggressive against the Banished if they want any chance of actually living. I feel like the only two people that can actually do this properly are Cutter and Kinsano, because their units are much faster and they can actually rush down the enemy, but people like Forge, Anders, and Isabel just seem to lack that ability in general, and I feel like this really hinders them in terms of actually competing. So, I'm going to go single generator on my base, and that's because I feel that mass-producing infantry is of top priority. So, yeah, once I get enough out, I'm going to start pushing out to the nodes and trying to fight for them. I'm going to need to pay really, really close attention, though, to try and split my Marines up. It's weird how it needs to be done, too, because I need to split them up enough to avoid the enemy just teleporting a suicide grunt into my Marines and cheesing them. But I also need to keep them together enough so that I can fight a ball of actual grunts to fight for the nodes. So I'm gonna try my best to actually split properly. You see, I got three guys conjugated. I'm gonna start taking out a node. If you've seen any of my other Banished videos, you know I like engaging nodes only whenever I have 3 grunts. I like doing that with nodes as UNSC as well. I guess you could try and do it with just 2, but I didn't really want to go for that. Let's see here, he sends his ghost up. I go ahead and engage it. I have even the Sentinel helping me. He said that he sent it up to just get power, but he tried to have it go away, but apparently it wasn't listening to him and it wouldn't move. So I was able to actually get that kill, which is definitely going to be at least somewhat helpful. I actually don't think it's that game-changing because ghosts actually don't seem to do that well against mass units of infantry. It seems like they just die too fast, especially with grenade throw. So you see I'm taking all these mini-bases, and at least for now, my preference is to put a supply pad on the first mini-base, a barracks on the second mini-base, and I think, honestly, you should put a generator on the third. I did a supply in this game, but I noticed my power was really lacking early on, and I feel that this would have helped out with it a lot more. So you can see here I'm pushing in to try and fight for some more of the power nodes. Something that Banished can really do, specifically Shipmaster, is he can try and just come in and try and hijack some of the nodes because his cap speed or decap speed is so fast that by the time I can actually get there to respond, it's kind of too late. So I see he has 4 grunts here. No, I can't really stop that. I tried to have my guy start coming back, but fortunately he was getting blocked by the grunts and I was having trouble actually getting back. But yeah, you see I'm building my second mini base. I'm going to have a barracks on that to try and start producing snipers. Honestly, I'm not really sure when you should be getting grenade throw and all that. For example, I could just try and go straight for Tech 2 here, since that is an option. I see he has a suicide grunt in the back, so I'm trying to keep my guys away. I try to pull away there, and he gets a good grunt off. That was my mistake. I should have split sooner, so I can't really blame any type of unit coordination problems for that. But you see I go ahead and queue up Tech 2 here, just because I had the excess power. The other option would have been to try and get grenade throw and have grenade throw faster. But, yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and start to go for the node there. I'm not even going to bother chasing his actual grunts into the middle. See, he has that suicide grunt. I'm trying to fight it, but at the same time I want to have them split to try and minimize damage. And I feel like that's the biggest thing in this matchup or at least the opening stages is, UNSC wants to try and keep his units as split as possible so that he doesn't get grunted, whereas Banished wants to try and exploit the UNSC, keeping his units grouped together. Not to say that I don't think it's a bad thing to group together. It's just that you need to be very self-aware of the enemy knowing. Like you see even here, like I have them together, but I'm kind of trying to keep them somewhat separate, just so I don't have a grunt just land. Because right there, that'd be a nice spot to have a grunt land. So you can see I'm trying to keep them split into small groups of maybe 3. I go ahead and queue up an armory. Because something that's, I think, really important is getting reinforcements. Because you need reinforcements, really early. You see, actually, like I was saying, I think the generator on your 3rd mini base is the best. Just because I had trouble really affording reinforcements 1. Again, though, if you saw there, I split my Marines. And, again, this is what I think you really want to be doing. Trying to split them so that you minimize any incoming damage from the Suicide Grunt. Now, I have a sniper here at last. I see he has a garrison or a ranger in that garrison, so I know I really can't push yet. I don't have enough forces to actually go about doing that. But I'm starting up Nightingales now, and I think you definitely need Nightingales to make UNSC work. They're such a strong option in general that I don't really see how you cannot do it. I know people, or at least some UNSC... Ooh, I lost that sniper. That was bad. I know that some UNSC people like going Wolverines, but I don't really see the point, because since you're already going mass infantry, that's gonna really kill any Banshees or Engineers that come, so I don't really see the point in that, per se. But yeah, you can see, like, without having that second generator, my power income is, I guess you could just say, inefficient. I really should have more coming in right now to get reinforcements 1, and that's gonna slow me down. Yeah, like, pretty soon here I actually even get rid of this pack. 'Cause I realize at this point, okay, I need to actually have 2 generators. 1 is not enough. So I try to go in there to cap that, but he already capped it. And honestly, I'm probably not going to be able to cap it so long as he has that ranger, because that ranger's just going to keep stopping me. Sending some Marines back because I know he capped my node and I need to try and get it back. Something I could try and do is keep some Marines at each node so that he can't cap them. It may seem a bit tedious, but I can see that being a good idea, potentially. And at this point, I actually think what I should be doing, because I want to push on him in some way, I probably should be trying to go for his mini bases at this point. That seems like what I think would be the best option. Because I don't really feel I can fight his actual army quite yet. Soon I should be able to. I just need to get some more snipers up here, a couple more Nightingales, and then I can actually engage him directly. Because those Nightingales, they're, I think, really underrated. I mean, I know a lot of people know about them at least, but I don't think people give them enough credit for how good they are. So, like, I try poking in here to see what all he has. I see he has some Rangers. Thinking about fighting it, but I'm just going to pull off for now. Figure that's fine, at least for now. I'm getting some Cyclops out. I want to wait till I have 1 or 2 Cyclops. Even just 1 Cyclops can wreak havoc on Locusts. Like, if they only have 3 Locusts, 1 Cyclops can do a huge number on them. They're really, really good anti-vehicle. Especially with Cutter's UNSC Raid 1 and 2. They just rush them down way too fast. Like, they can't even do anything about it, really. See, I'm getting a lot of Marines out. Honestly, maybe I'm getting too many out. I suppose I could just try and go for an Expo or to try and get a 3rd generator. That could be a better option. And here, and this is just, I think, due to lack of experience, but I think I made a big mistake in trying to reroute my army away from the middle. It seems like it gave him too much room, wiggle room to play. I should have just went up to his mini bases, kept the pressure on his side of the map. But, again, I think this just comes from a lack of experience with Cutter gameplay. But I think that's what you should do. Also, I should have gotten Grenade Thrower much sooner. You see, I queued up at last, but it's 9 minutes in the game. That's way too late to be queuing Grenade Throw. It should be much sooner. Well, I am sitting on 100 pop now. I'm, I guess, re-engaging him at this point. I see he has a lot of Rangers, but I'm going to go ahead and try and engage that because I have a good bit of snipers. And he actually teleports out of it because I guess he didn't want to deal with that. But I think honestly, he had a good bit of Rangers. He could have maybe put up a fight. Maybe. I'm waiting for my ODST to come back so I can drop that down on his Locust. Do a good bit of damage on them. Because, yeah, ODSTs, they're actually pretty dang effective. I've underestimated them in the past, but using them myself and, like, seeing how good they are, they're actually really, really strong. See, his Rangers are at this point, he's down to, like, 2. He's not going to be able to hold them together. He has 1 Locust here. I'm going to go ahead and pick that off. And I was able to push through here, but even so, I think it was somewhat sloppy play. I could have done it better. Oh, and that Cyclops drop, I think I made a mistake doing this. I was conserving it for a time that I thought was going to be more appropriate, but I think this is the wrong mindset. I think better would have been just to drop it, and that way the recharge time would start going back up. Because, I mean, just having a 3-star Cyclops, that's incredible to have something like that. And I really should have just used it whenever I had the opportunity to. So I'm fighting for the nodes again. I almost have enough for Tech 3. I actually have enough now. I guess I was just delayed in queuing it, or I just wanted more eco, or whatever the case was. I think I should have just got Tech 3, started getting reinforcements too. But my idea, or what I thought of doing in this game, was just simply keeping him off of an expansion base and waiting for Gunship so I could hit his main. Because I figure once I get Gunship, he's not going to be able to turtle back on his base anymore, and I'll be able to pretty much break through. Or at least that's the goal. So I'm basically just trying to get points up, or get XP up, because I'm nearly at that point. See, it's about 2/3 of the way to the Gunship point. Again, I could be pushing on his mini bases. That's something I definitely could be doing, and probably should have been doing this whole time. And again, the Cyclops drop. That's something I should have been using. But I realize now that I should be going up and going for his mini bases, and that I should have been doing it sooner. See, he has some guys here. Honestly, I don't really think I have quite enough to actually engage his army itself directly. So I'm pulling off here and just waiting for some of my reinforcement troops to get up here. See, he has that sniper, or that ranger, so I'm going to go ahead and just take that out. I had a lot of Nightling Gales in this game, by the way. I'm not really sure how many you should have. I think like 4 at least is a good number. But I think I went a little overboard this game. I think I just had too many. See, he has a Locust here, and I know he pushed way too far with that Locust, so I'm going to go ahead and snipe that kill off of him. I see he has another Locust that's outside the shield, so I'm going to go ahead and try and aim that one down as well. It does manage to get in the shield, though, and I get Suicide Grunted, so I'm going to go ahead and pull back here. And again, one of the nice things about having these Nightling Gales, you see there, a lot of my stuff got red barred, but most of it's going to end up living, because I'm just going to walk away and get it healed. It's just these Nightling Gales, they are so strong. They are so incredibly strong. Of an option. You definitely want to have them. So I go ahead and queue up an Expo here at this point, because I figure I have so much excess money that I might as well. I really should have queued Tech 3. I'm not sure what I was saving the power for, to be honest. I think I should have just got Tech 3. It just seemed like it should have been a good option. And I'm basically just waiting for Gunship. Again, I could have pushed up to his mini bases. I think I was just kind of afraid that he would be able to inflict enough damage on me. I'm not sure what was going through my head at the time. But I go ahead and at last make a break for it up to his mini base here to try and do some damage. I have Gunship basically ready, so if he tries to push up behind me, I can at least drop that, and that should be safe for me. I have Gunship unlocked. I'm going to go ahead and drop it down here on his base. I'm going to wait until I kill this whatever it's called, this mini base before I start coming back. I'm going to drop this Cyclops at last. I do, like I said, I definitely do think you should drop that whenever you get the chance, because just, I mean, it takes some time to build, and again, just the 3-star unit, that's ridiculously good. I know I keep saying that. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's true. But you can see with this gunship and with this 100 pop army, his army's not standing a chance. Which, again, just shows that you need to be pushing out as soon as you get the opportunity to as Covenant, because otherwise this will end up happening and the cutter will just smash through. Now, if you look at the mini-base, or not the mini-base, the mini-map, you can see he actually pushed on my base with Locust, and I didn't realize this at the time. So this is going to make the game at least a little more interesting, because now we have somewhat of a base race in our hands, but I feel I'm definitely on the better side, because I have an army, and he has Locusts, and if our armies ever meet, it's going to be just GG for him. And he doesn't actually have a base to necessarily retreat to anymore. Now, a good lesson to also take away from this game would be that whenever you're in a base trade as the UNSC, you really want to try and stop any shield generators from getting up. For example, right here, he just queued his shield generator, right? So, I mean, you don't have to necessarily aim it down right away, but you want to try and aim it down before it gets up, because otherwise, it's not like Halo Wars 1 where if you're just aiming main, it denies the shield. It actually comes up anyway. And at this point, I spot the shields coming up, but I'm too late to actually stop it. So that's something you need to really try and keep an eye out for. See, he's tried to at least look for my bases at this point. I still feel, and it's funny, I still do feel like I'm okay, just because I was able to do so much damage to his army, and his base is still on the verge of death. Now, I figure since the base is so weak, I can just go ahead and aim at the main, and I don't have to worry about the shield generator anymore. Go ahead and kill that grunt just because I don't want him just hitting my units. But of course, he has displacement now, so he's going to displace my army away, and I realize that this means basically he's going to get the shield back up again, and that's going to buy him a little more time, which is kind of annoying. But I'm not so upset, because I do feel my position is still better. Again, just the fact that I can fight his armies, a really big trump UNSC has. And if you end up going in for this base trade, like really, when you think about it, I could just sit back on defense and defend my base, and he can't really do anything. I could even split my army, have some go on offense, some on defense, and since his army's health is just so weak and I can rush them down, I'd say a base trade is honestly not really what a Covenant wants to go for, unless they can get a situation that is much, much better for them. Now I see, I believe I took that base and he destroyed it. But I am going to drop the shield on this base again, and now that it doesn't have displacement, I should be finally able to kill this base. I've been wanting to kill it for a while. I'm going to go ahead and just start to spread out and look for his other bases. Killing off those rangers first, just to try and minimize his army, because I know he can't have that much in terms of troop count right now. Honestly, I maybe could destroy that generator I have on the one mini base for a supply pad or something, just to try and help out the eco a little bit. It's one. I mean, whenever you're in a base trade like this, doing every little thing to try and speed up your development is helpful. Also, getting that upgrade for the Cyclops is incredibly strong. It increases the damage so much. I mean, it seems like a nice perk to have, but it's not necessarily absolutely critical in the mid-gamey stages, because I think just getting numbers out is a better option. See, I'm looking for his bases right now. I'm going to have one Nightingale sit on my main just to stop him from actually just killing it and cheesing. Going to throw up some watchtowers just for some extra defense. See, he has another Locust on that other base. But if you look at the minimap there, I was engaging his Locust, and I was able to get 3 more Locust kills, and he's basically down to no units. And while he does have those 3 bases, I made a full army to his basically non-existent army, and at this point he just throws in the towel and resigns. So, interesting game. I do think we both could have played this better, but I mean, I'm not a cutter main, so I'm not too upset for how I played. But I will be playing more cutter in the future, just to try and get more experience with him, and just to know how he works. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in another one, so take care.